Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I'm a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and just stick around. Also, if you need any help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, small group coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. Today's video is for all of you who are manifesting a specific person and who may be experiencing this quite common, yet I know quite unpleasant phenomenon where you see your specific person conforming a little bit to your new story, to the new version of them that you're manifesting. But then the next moment or the next hour or the next day, they revert back to their old self, to their old version. So we're going to discuss what is happening here, why it is happening, why you're getting this experience, and how you can fully shift your state to actually manifest a version of them that is fully conformed to the ideal version that you desire. So this is what I'm going to discuss. Stay tuned. So this phenomenon I just described, where the specific person conforms partially or conforms a little bit and shows signs of being that new version of themselves, and then the next moment or the next day or the following week, they go back to who they used to be previously, is very common. It is something that a lot of you are experiencing in the process of manifesting a different version of your specific person. However, it is actually very, very normal and very, very natural. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why this is happening and how to actually help your SP, your specific person, shift towards a fully conformed version of themselves, which is ultimately what you desire as well. So while I know this can feel annoying, it can feel discouraging, it can feel disheartening, it is, however, very, very normal. And the reason why it's happening is the whole reason behind manifesting, the whole reason behind the law. Remember how the law actually works. Wherever we dominantly put our attention and our focus, that's what we end up seeing more of in our 3D reality. That's what our 3D reality ends up reflecting to us. So what you're doing when you're manifesting a different version of your specific person is presumably you're doing some techniques, you're visualizing them, you're affirming for them, you're having inner conversations perhaps, scripting, meditating, whatever you're doing. And you are starting to see them as that new version of themselves. And you start experiencing that version in imagination and you start impressing your subconscious mind with it. And in short, you start putting it into your consciousness that they are now that new person. They are now that new person who is treating me so much better, who is so attentive, who is so loving, who is so expressive with their feelings, who prioritizes me, who loves me, who chooses me, who commits to me, whatever it is that you're manifesting. You are impressing your subconscious mind and you're putting your consciousness on that version, telling yourself, telling your subconscious, this is the version of my specific person that is the ideal for me. This is the version that I want to experience. This is the version I deserve to experience. So then, as you're putting your consciousness there, as you're impressing your subconscious with that new version, as you're shifting your focus and your attention to that version that you desire, your 3D starts to push it out. Your subconscious starts to push it out into your 3D. And you're starting to see little bits and pieces, or maybe even bigger bits and pieces of that new version. They're starting to reflect that back to you, and they're starting to show you signs that they are becoming that new person, that they are now that new version of themselves that you're manifesting. At the same time, most likely, you're still very, very conscious of their old version. You're still very, very conscious of the old story, of the current 3D, of whatever the circumstances might be. So that is still also very, very dominant and very, very prominent in your awareness, in your consciousness, and you're still impressing your subconscious with that information and those ideas. So while on the one hand, you're seeing signs that your specific person is conforming to that new version that you're manifesting, on the other hand, because you're also keeping the old version very prominent within your consciousness, their old self, if you will, their old self keeps coming up again. Their old self keeps showing up. And that is very, very normal to an extent, because that is what you're used to expecting from them. You are still attached to that version of them because that is the version you know, that is the version you're used to, that's the version that they showed you in the past. So you're relying on these memories to actually remember them in that way and establish within yourself that this is how they are, this is who they are, this is the version of them that is the true version. And so, yes, they are showing signs of conforming to the new version because you are impressing your subconscious, you are impressing your consciousness with that new version. At the same time, though, because you're also keeping the old version or the current version as prominent within your consciousness, the 3D continues to reflect a big chunk of that version as well. And so you have this little back and forth, this annoying back and forth. Oh, I thought it was working. I thought they were shifting to that version of themselves, which they are and they were. But then I also see the old version again. So then you get discouraged, then you get disheartened, then you get fearful, then you get doubtful that it's never going to happen, and you're inclined to give up, and you're tempted to just say, forget it, it doesn't work, and all these things, just questioning everything. And at the end of the day, it's all a matter of you shifting your perspective and your perception of the whole situation, of how this whole manifestation is going, reframing it into something that's actually favorable to you, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then you're going to see your manifestation with the new version of your specific person coming through more and more and more and more. So the fact that you're seeing, let's say, a half and half, or you see parts of the new version and then they revert back to the old version, first of all, does not mean that you're doing anything wrong. Because a lot of people at this stage start questioning everything, start doubting everything, start wanting to give up, they start assuming it's not working, they start assuming they must be doing something wrong, etc., etc. In reality, what is happening is that you have both realities, both versions, very prominent within your consciousness still. And what you need to do is actually two things. First thing, instead of getting discouraged about seeing your specific person reverting back to their old version, you instead choose to feel encouraged and take heart and get motivated from the fact that you did see signs of them moving towards that new version that you're manifesting. So that needs to show you that what you're doing is working, that you are impressing your subconscious mind with that new version, that you are putting your consciousness in the right place, and the 3D is starting to showing that to you. So instead of dwelling on the unfavorable, which is, yes, I saw these little signs here and there, but then they reverted back to who they were, to the old version. No, you actually dwell on the favorable stuff, on the favorable circumstances where you actually experienced that shift within them, where they showed you that new version, where they showed you that it is actually possible, and they showed you tangible signs that what you're doing is working, and you build on that, and you persist on that. You disregard to the best of your abilities that going back to the old version, and you shift all your attention to the best of your abilities to that new version. You need to rejoice in yourself about that new version showing up, even if it's little bits and pieces. You need to celebrate within yourself. You need to draw motivation and inspiration from that, and tell yourself that you need to keep going. That means you're doing something right. So keep doing it, keep persisting towards that direction. The second thing is, to the best of your abilities again, shut out the 3D as much as you can. Shut out the old story as much as you can. Shut out the old or current circumstances as much as you can. Shut out that old version of them that still continues to show up, and instead shift your focus on the new version that you want to experience. Start putting all your techniques, start putting all your attention, all your focus, start shifting your inner state towards that new version that you want to experience, that you've already seen bits and pieces of, so you know now that it exists. As I've been telling you this whole time, now that you're doing the work, you are seeing evidence, you're seeing tangible evidence that that version does exist. So this is a prompt for you to actually keep persisting towards your desired direction. Keep persisting towards that desired version of your SP. Try not to pay attention, try to stay indifferent to the old version that they're showing. Try to stay indifferent to the old story or to the current story or to the circumstances or to the 3D. You are already seeing evidence that what you're doing is working. Keep towards that direction. Keep your attention there. Keep your focus there. That's all you need to do. And the more you put your focus and attention on that, the more natural it's going to feel, the more it's going to feel real and realistic and believable and possible and likely and probable to happen in your 3D. And then once that happens, the more your specific person is going to reflect that back to you. So it truly is a matter of persistence, a matter of staying consistent to what you want, a matter of shutting out all the old, all the unnecessary things and circumstances that you don't prefer, that do not match with your ideal story, and just learning to shift your attention towards what you actually want. The more you do that, the more you practice towards that direction, the more natural it's going to feel, and then the more and more you're going to see it in the 3D. Your specific person is part of your 3D, and they're going to reflect that new version back to you the more you actually believe in it and the more you actually trust them and expect them to show that new version. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.